Blaziken versus Lucario. How do you win? Whoever wins neutral has a giant advantage, so that's what this guide will focus on. First off, what not to do. Don't whiff buttons, don't do unsafe stuff like random back Y and flare blitz, play the ground game. I'll explain how to win neutral in field phase and how to win footsies in duel phase. Let's get started. You can pretty comfortably walk and block or sidestep most of Lucario's field phase moves, but its most threatening moves in field phase are side Y, forward Y, and homing attack. Side Y starts up quickly at 17 frames, but it is negative 24 on block. However, it's only punishable from close up. Try to hang out at the range where this move looks safe to bait Lucarios to throw it out. They love using side Y whenever possible. Then, walk right into the range where it's unsafe, block, and punish with blaze kicks. Lucario's forward Y lunges forward. Like side Y, this also starts up in 17 frames, so you can't avoid it on reaction. You have to anticipate it. It's better to just block it because at -8, if the opponent tries to homing cancel, they'll still get hit by blaze kicks. It's free pressure. If you see Lucario's going for a homing attack, you can interrupt the approach with blaze kicks or forward Y. You can try to charge counterattack in reaction to the startup if it's not point blank, but the second part of Lucario's homing ducks under Blaziken's counter. It's better to try to interrupt its startup or just block it. Lucario also has Bone Rush in field, but you can deal with that move the same way as side Y. Bait, block, and punish. But I'll talk about punishing Bone Rush specifically in the next section. In general, if you're at frame advantage in field phase, such as when you initiate a phase shift from duel phase, you can usually just stuff Lucario's field phase with your own attacks. Neutral Y is a good low commitment option that you can follow up or not depending on how the opponent reacts. Forward Y is a good option for stuffing reckless advances like homing or Lucario's forward Y. Blaze Kicks and EX Brave Bird are excellent choices when the opponent has been conditioned to block. If the opponent is stationary, you can use side Y as a small shield to close the gap. Now, when your opponent has the advantage in field phase, try to make your way to the center of the screen. That way you have the most room to move and can walk the opponent towards the walls and bait them into lunging at you so you don't pressure them. Once you've blocked one of Lucario's many moves that are negative on block, you can go in with your own pressure like Blaze Kicks, EX Brave Bird, Throw, or any of the other options I mentioned earlier. Duel phase versus Lucario is all about footsies. That is, controlling space through the use of grounded normals and movement. However, Blaziken can't play footsies in the traditional sense. It doesn't have fast, long-reaching normals, and the normals it does have are quite negative on block. Plus, Lucario's counterattack crumples on counter hit anyway. To beat Lucario on the ground, you have to bait attacks by threatening to go in for a throw, then walk back and whiff punish them. The main moves you'll be looking to whiff punish are Lucario's 6X, 8Y, 8X, and 8A. You'll have to beat out 2Y preemptively once you get a feel for the opponent's patterns, and you have to block and punish Bone Rush, which I'll go over separately. Here are a few scenarios where you can bait normals and cause whiffs. After an EX Brave Bird or 8X on block, Blaziken is +4. This gives you enough time to walk back slightly so you're just out of range of Lucario's throw. A deep EX high jump kick puts you in this perfect range automatically. Now if the opponent whiffs 8Y preemptively, Blaze Kicks it. If they extreme speed, full combo. You'll have to walk back a little further to get Lucario's 8X to whiff, but whiff punish that the same way. To get 6X to whiff, you'll usually need to take advantage of the speed buff in burst and the even bigger speed buff after using your burst attack. This lets you walk in and out of Lucario's 6X range quickly. Since they know they can only hit you with heavy attacks, you have to look out for 6X. But make sure your reactions are on point so you can whiff punish in time and not be too slow like I was here.
Oh, the whiff punish! No way!
If the opponent is constantly interrupting your approach with 2Y, you can use EX Brave Bird or Blaze Kicks preemptively to beat this. But you should wait until you've analyzed your opponent's habits before doing this. If the opponent is content to block, You can abuse that by walking into the range where Blaze Kicks is gapless and starting your own pressure. If you need ideas of how to pressure your opponent, I've linked my pressure analysis in the description. In summary, you want to walk towards your opponent, act like you're going for the throw to start pressure, make them nervous, and whiff punish their preemptive attacks. If they continue to block, throw them, or start your own block strings in pressure. Bone Rush, Lucario's most annoying attack. There are essentially 3 versions of Bone Rush: Bone Rush Upper, Bone Rush Slam, and Bone Rush with no follow-up. The problem is it's hard to tell which version your opponent is going for on reaction and punish accordingly. So here's a trick a lot of players, including myself, use. Once you see your blocking Bone Rush, tap counter. If they do the upper or the slam, you'll counter through it. If they don't do any follow-up, you'll get stuck in block stun and your counter won't come out unless you mashed it or pressed it too late. Punish the non-follow-up version with Blaze Kicks. 5A, normal heat wave, can be punished by Bone Rush on reaction, but it's good to throw out 1 or 2 to get the opponent looking for it so they jump the gun and you can punish the preemptive Bone Rush. Beating Lucario is not about being hyper-offensive. You need to pressure, but more so to bait whiffs so you can whiff punish. If you want information about Blaziken's meaty options against Lucario, I'm creating a meaties video which I'll link to once it's finished, which will cover the entire cast. Also, check out my other Blaziken analyses and my written guide if you want more information on how to level up your Blaziken. Thanks for watching, leave a comment if you found it helpful, and please share it with others.